All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. Yes, there will be a TFR episode tonight. And just want to go over some of the headlines. A lot of them came to pass yesterday. One of the top stories, Joe Biden signs an anti-lynching bill. I mean, honestly, has anyone heard about any lynchings in their lifetime in the United States of America? I mean, literally, is there anyone out there who's heard of a lynching in the U.S.? Again, there's so much effort right now to bring attention to race. There's never been a greater focus on racism. And again, in the 90s, racism was something that was truly coming to pass. It's not to say it was entirely gone, but this whole new focus on race and racial tension. This is all by design. It's all about keeping the people divided. And notice it happened when they put in the first token black president, Barack Obama by the numbers, back when Joe Biden was the VP, and their attorney general was named Loretta Lynch, something I pointed out a million times. What are the odds that the attorney general's name would be Lynch? But as per usual, every single day, you can prove that the federal government operates by the Kabbalistic code of letters and numbers. Again, in the Book of Formation, the Kabbalistic text, it says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. Go figure that Joe Biden signs the anti-lynching bill in tribute to Emmett Till 129 days after his November 20th birthday. Again, in the most simple cipher, Emmett Till equals 129. And you might have noticed that since Science Man Dan attacked the work, there's been a lot of morons in the comments section writing things like, "This is so stupid. Don't you know numbers are infinite? You can make anything equal anything." It's just like, where do these fucking losers come from? Like, seriously, where do you fucking losers come from? How can you make anything equal anything? This is based on the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5. You can't make anything equal anything. It's a system. I can't just contrive that it's 129 days after Joe Biden's birthday and he's signing a bill about Emmett Till, you know? But this goes on every single day. And for all the new fucking retards that have arrived around here, realize I've been proving this every single day for 9 years straight. You know, you got about 30,000 blog posts and over 10,000 videos and 2 books to debunk. It's never going to happen. Every day, the evidence is going to pile up that this is what's going on. The cabal. That name's not arbitrary. It comes from Kabbalah. The cabal is what controls your world, what controls your little pea brain. The reason so many of you are so fucking retarded and just have a mouth that spews nothing but bullshit is because you are the product of the cabal that's made you a little fucking retard since you were probably since you were a little sperm. Truly, probably since you were a little sperm, you've been made into a fucking retard by the cabal. You know why? Because your parents' bodies are full of poison. Their minds are full of poison. You were put in slave school where your mind was filled up with more poison. And this is where you guys are, just fucking retards that don't know how to shut the fuck up and pay attention. And you're arguing with facts. You're arguing with undeniable facts with the dumbest fucking comments I've ever read in my life. Don't you know that numbers are infinite? Well, if numbers are infinite, you fucking retard, that means there's a huge span of them, and it would be a small percentage chance, like a millionth of not even a millionth, it'd be a trillionth of a percentage point that it would line up 129 days after Joe Biden's birthday and be about Emmett Till. Okay? 129 days. Emmett Till 129. You gotta be some kind of fucking retard to just think that's a coincidence and leave a comment like, "Nobody would ever do this." If nobody would ever do it, then why does it line up this way every day, you fucking retard? Sorry for all the people who here aren't the fucking retards, but again, remember, I don't really make the videos for you guys. I make the videos for the fucking retards that are dragging us all to hell, that are just so fucking dumb, all they can do is spew bullshit that makes no fucking sense and feel like they're so smart regurgitating their nonsense. And again, For all the Science Man Dan fucking retards that are here, ask yourself why you guys are all like a bunch of wind-up toys. You all have 3 fucking things to say. This is crazy. This is stupid. Get on your meds. I mean, that's all you fucking losers can say. I've been hearing the same fucking shit my whole life for pointing out the obvious lies and bullshit in this world. That's all a fucking loser can ever say. You're crazy. You should be on some meds. No, fucking retard, I've never been on meds. I'm not crazy. I've always been smarter and better at everything in life than you've ever been. From academics to athletics to everything. you know? I don't even want to start bragging, but I just mean everything. I'm better at everything than almost all you fucking losers in the world are. Understand that. Better at everything. And I don't like hearing from fucking piss-on lemmings that I'm crazy, that I should be on meds. Fuck you, sorry-ass motherfucker. Where you should be is rotting in the fucking ground, decomposing, because we don't need worthless pieces of shit who don't know how to fucking listen and believe every last piece of bullshit that's shoved down their throat just because it came from the authority. Don't you know numbers are infinite? What the fuck does that even mean, retard? Don't you know it's improbable that this goes on every fucking day, but it does? Now here, let's move on to the next point. What day did this lynching bill happen? It happened on 29/3. Funny how every year when 29/3 rolls around, 29/3, like 293, the 60-second prime, the news is all full of 62 shit. Every single year. What's the word lynch equal in the most simple cipher? 62. What kind of bill is this? An anti-lynching bill. Now, I know Simon Dan, who doesn't know a fucking thing about anything, said, well, you can't compare ciphers if it's alphabetic order forwards and reverse. And he makes that claim out of his asshole. Literally, an asshole making claims out of his asshole. And that's pretty much what society is. A bunch of assholes talking from their asshole about things that they don't understand, things that they don't know, just regurgitating bullshit. What are the odds, you fucking retards? Tell me what the odds are, fucking retards, that in reverse, anti-lynching is 62, and just the most simple way, lynch is 62. And on 29/3? And for the fucking retards out there, a prime number, which you should have learned about in elementary school, is a number that cannot be divided except by 1 and by itself. So 293, the 60-second prime. And I know what the fucking retard will say. And then after they get done making their sheep noises, then they'll go, but it's 29/3, not 293. Yeah, fucking retard, but every year we document that this is the same shit they do every single fucking year. Okay? So shut the fuck up, and maybe you'll learn something. Okay? Sorry, guys. It's just, all this just stupid fucking comments pouring in remind me what humanity is. You know? I wish you could just line them all up in a row and get an infinite fucking clip and put them all right where they belong. In the fucking dirt. God. Sorry-ass motherfucking society. And it's a fucking shame how stupid people are. Again, the only reason the cabal gets away with what it gets away with is because of how fucking stupid people are. 9/11, an event for fucking retards. You know what people told me after 9/11? For questioning it? That I was crazy. That I should move out of the country. That I should get on some medication. Oh, right. I'm crazy because I don't believe a load of bullshit. Oh, I'm crazy because I can fucking count and go, wow, what are the odds that every single fucking day the news lines up by this little simple code of ABC 1, 2, 3? You know? Again, this isn't lost on me. I remember in 2013 when I started, the first thing I ever showed people in the world was, what are the odds that when you just use the alphabetic order, Jesus, cross, Messiah, gospel, parables, all add up to the same thing, and it happens to be a number that's so important to this nation's history? 7-4. You know? And you know what all the fucking retards said? Zach, you sound crazy. Again, the problem is fucking losers think the truth is crazy. Fucking losers believe bullshit. And I don't want to say that it's because they're crazy. It's just because they're incompetent and fucking retarded. Okay? So do we have it, Simon Dan gang, the sheep herd that showed up here? Do you see what the story is today? Do you see what it is? It doesn't matter if fucking numbers are infinite, moron. It matters that every single day, this is how your news transpires. Every single fucking day. Every single fucking day, retards. This is how we predict so many things before they happen, you fucking retards. And in a way, I'm grateful for you fucking retards, because like I said, a lot of people in this community have gotten themselves out of debt, poverty, put themselves in a good financial place, because you can take advantage of this information in the ring of betting. And the sports are just as rigged, and every day the outcomes prove it. And again, if all the fucking retards caught on, they wouldn't be able to do it this way anymore. So, again, for all the morons who come here and just speak out of ignorance, again, in a sort of way, thank you for being who you are. It wouldn't have made it possible for those of us with brains to take advantage of this system. Okay, so moving on. What else is going on? Loretta Lynch is about to turn 63 years old. Of course, her name equals 63 like racism, something we were covering, 6-7 years ago. How about from Obama's birthday? From Obama's birthday, August 4th, to this ritual on March 29th, 34 weeks on the nose. Remember, Emmett Till was killed 34 days after his birthday. Remember, black equals 34, murder equals 34. In this case, Biden equals 34. All 34. Again, a million rituals with 34 in black history as we've covered over the years. So right on the 34th week of Obama's age, this happens. And also, Emmett Till death anniversary, August 28th. That's the day Chadwick Boseman died the other year. And again, we get all these reminders all the time about how fucking dumb people are. Chadwick Boseman literally dies on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day for the bullshit coronavirus season, and also happens to be the day that the author of Black Panther was born. So Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther and Jackie Robinson, not to mention Jackie Robinson was in the Black Panther Tank Brigade in World War II, at least so we're told. Chadwick Boseman dies out of nowhere on that day. And remember all the fucking retards? They all thought it was a coincidence. Again, you guys, this is what we're dealing with in society. A society of just inept fucking losers who think everything's a coincidence, who are too dumb to see the obvious. And again, this is the reason history is allowed to repeat itself, because you have a society of inept fucking morons who just can't see the forest for the trees. Can't see the forest for the trees. And anyway, August 28th is also the day that Emmett Till was supposedly killed in history. And notice, from the signing of the bill to Emmett Till's upcoming death anniversary is 152 days. Joe Biden 152. Remember, Pennsylvania's 152, where he's from. Also the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. Kamala Devi Harris 152. After Biden became number 46, President's Day just happened to fall on the 46th day of that year, 15/2. So here's the latest Joe Biden 152 ritual. Okay. How about this thing they put here? Look at this. Look at this. We still march for Emmett Till. And then down below it says, a woman holds a sign in honor of Emmett Till during a protest on June 13th, 2020 in Chicago. Okay, what's June 13th? That's the day leaving 201 days left in the year. That's the day this year that they're going to start the George Floyd federal trial for the officers involved in his killing. And remember, George Floyd, massive 201 ritual. Michael Brown, massive 201 ritual. That was in Missouri, like Emmett Till. But look at what's on this sign. We still march for Emmett Till. So in the most simple cipher, we still march for Emmett Till's 311, whereas the name Emmett Till is 129 alone. And where do these numbers come together? Again, in base 8 counting. In base 8 counting, 129 is 201, and 201 is 311 in base 8 counting. Remember, Anthony Fauci said there'd be a pandemic in the time of the Trump administration, January 10th, 2017 at Georgetown. Georgetown equals 129 the same way Emmett Till does. Then there was Event 201, the coronavirus pandemic simulation, right before the coronavirus pandemic. So Georgetown 129. Event 201, 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. Then what day did they declare the pandemic? March 11th, 311. 201 is 311 in base 8 counting. What day is this sign from? June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Again, Michael Brown 201. Happened just outside St. Louis, where that important Jesuit university is that so many rituals come out of. George Floyd, his full name, George Perry Floyd 201, killed exactly 201 weeks after Adama Traore, who was killed on the 201st day of the year in Paris, France, where the Jesuits are from. Two very similar rituals with two very similar outcomes. The Jesuit Order 201, who's behind all this shit. Where's Joe Biden from? Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of The Office that ran 201 episodes. Then they take John Krasinski from The Office and they have him play the Jack Ryan Jesuit-educated CIA character. Remember, the CIA established in history 201 days after the Pope's birthday. So on and so forth. But again, even if you're fucking retarded, as most people are, you should be able to comprehend what I'm saying and realize this shit's way fucking beyond coincidence. But people are fucking pathetic. And it's sad that people are so fucking pathetic because it's allowing us to all get fucked in the ass. You know what one of the fucking retards wrote yesterday in response? I responded to one of the trolls, and he wrote back, why are you still complaining about lost rights and liberties from back in 9/11? And anything that we were lost in 2020, we got it all back now. I mean, it's just like, for you guys who don't get it, just for saying that shit, you should be shot in the head. Like, literally, you should be shot in the fucking head. You don't need to breathe anymore. You just need to shut the fuck up and have your eternal nap. Shut the fuck up, sorry-ass motherfuckers. You guys want to talk and you don't have anything to fucking say that needs to be heard by anybody. We got our rights and liberties back after 9/11. Are you fucking retarded? We live in a fucking surveillance state, moron. And I'm sure a lot of these people who are leaving comments weren't even alive when 9/11 happened, so they're just dumb little fucking losers that grew up in this slave state and don't know any better. But no, we haven't gotten anything back, you fucking morons. We live in more and more of a surveillance state every fucking day, you inept fucking losers. While you're distracted with the bullshit, while they fuck you over, they keep creating these new distractions for you to get all caught up in so you can post about on social media. What do you mean racism and lynching isn't real? Didn't you see what happened to George Floyd? Shut the fuck up, motherfucker, and pay attention to what I'm saying. That whole thing was a staged bullshit scene for their bullshit fucking agenda to divide us more and more. And honestly, there does need to be a division, you know? There does need to be a division at this point. There's a lot of fucking losers that, like I said 10 minutes ago, need a bullet in the fucking head and to be decomposing in the ground. There's just so many fucking losers that don't need to be breathing. Shut the fuck up, sorry-ass motherfuckers. Look in the mirror and see who you are. It's too bad almost all of society is who I'm talking about. A society of inept fucking losers that can't see the forest for the trees, that everything's a fucking coincidence, everything's a fucking conspiracy theory. Cross out the theory, morons. It's a conspiracy to fuck you more and more every single fucking day. That's what it is. And it's all done by the numbers. Every single day, morons. Provable. Provable. Every single fucking day. Provable. You know what they say? Evidence doesn't matter to a believer. No amount of evidence will ever make a difference in the mind of a believer. And that's a fact. And that's what you have, a society of believers. And what do they believe in? What's their God? The television, the authority. That's the problem. These people believe in authority, believe in having their life dictated by assholes. People don't give a fuck about them. That's what they're into. And that's why they all need a bullet in the head, too. Because what are we really doing? Are we really killing a person if we put a bullet in a fucking loser's head? I don't think so. I don't think these people count as people. I just called them people. It's a mistake. They're not. They're fucking robots. They're fucking cattle. They're fucking slave lemmings is what they are. They don't need to exist. Their only purpose is to put money in the pockets of the ruling class. They're just little commodities that generate revenue and spend money that puts money in the pockets of the authorities. That's essentially the only purpose of their life. You know, sit on their ass and watch their bullshit programming, generate more revenue for them, for the advertisements. These people don't have a purpose. They don't need to exist. Need to be a cleansing of the fucking losers in a big way. Okay, so morons, if you don't know what base 8 counting is, look it up and just shut the fuck up. I don't want to read some dumb fucking comment like, oh, now he's got to do base 8 counting. Yeah, just shut the fuck up, moron, and look it up. It's a real thing, and they're doing this shit every day. It's how we, part of the reason how we called the championship and put more money in people's pocket after week 1 of the rigged college football season. Again, we said Georgia would beat Alabama in the championship, which they did, as we do year after year, call these championships seasons in advance, year after year, from knowing this rigged code. But go back and look at what they did. They had the old Georgia coach, the last to win the game, in attendance on his 129th day of his age when his name equals 129. And how many games did he win with Georgia? 201. 129, 201 in base 8 counting. The first Jesuit university, its name equals 129. The Jesuit order, 201. The only city that equals 201, Indianapolis, where this year's championship took place. Last year with college basketball, it was in Indianapolis in a huge 201 ritual. Again, year after year, the same shit. The same shit. Okay. Next story. Let's see. Here's a familiar pattern. And I don't know where the fuck my video went yesterday that I did on this. I know I did a video yesterday on Piltdown Man and the vaccine, but somehow it's gone. I don't have any strike, but the whole video's gone. I don't know what happened. But anyway, we'll do it again. FDA authorized the second booster yesterday on March 29th, exactly 57 days after authorizing the last booster. And vaccine equals 57. And again, Bill Gates equals 57, who's now the face of vaccines. And again, May 7th, 2020, a lot of people made a lot of money. From people who got back to me, the most somebody made was $10,000 on that day by taking my advice from 2 months earlier. And I said, just watch. The Moderna stock's going to be going up, and you'll probably see it shoot way up on May 7th, 2020. And why did we say 57? Because we knew in Gematria vaccine equals 57, and Moderna's backed by Bill Gates, whose name equals 57. So what happened on May 7th, 2020? Moderna's vaccine became the first approved for phase 2 testing, and the stock price shot way up that day. And again, it's as simple as that. It's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3 to see how bullshit all these rituals are. And if you don't want to understand that your federal government's a load of bullshit, it's because you're a content fucking moron and a slave. That's why. If you don't want to see that your federal government's bullshit, you're a fucking problem. Because this federal government's a real fucking problem. They're overtaxing us. They're starting needless wars. They're poisoning us. They're fucking us from so many different angles, and you don't give a fuck about it. So what's it say about you? It says you're a sorry-ass motherfucker that, like I said, needs a bullet in the head. And I'm not wrong about that. I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm wrong. I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm off my rocker and I need some meds and I need to chill out. These people are fucking idiots. You know? I know what it is to be an actual human being and to be sick of injustice and living in a society of fucking losers. Real justice would be putting a bullet in 95% of America's heads because it's a society of fucking losers who don't give a fuck about anything that matters. If you think that's wrong, you're fucking wrong. Speak out for 20 years and then get back to me. You don't have the balls to speak out. That's why you don't know about it. Anyway, 57 days later, and again, who runs your federal government? A bunch of Jesuits. That's why they do it this way every single day. And just to go back to that last ritual on January 31st, the first time the FDA approved the first booster, and good sheep, go out and get the fucking boosters. Make sure you get all of them. See if you can get an even extra shot. Ask if the doctor will give you an even extra one, you know? We want to make sure the problem's taken care of. But, again, Mr. Fuckface, Bill Gates, from a clan of Jesuits himself, from his birthday, again, the face of the vaccine, to the first booster being approved on the 31st day of the year was 95 days later. And in the most pure cipher boosters, 31, and reverse, it's 95. See how perfect it is? Simon Dan, who doesn't know a fucking thing about anything when it comes to this subject, wants to say that these ciphers aren't comparable and unrelated. Based on what? Based on your ignorance? Exactly. Based on your ignorance. And that's the problem right there. Everyone in this fucking society speaking out of their ass, speaking with nothing to back it up, just regurgitating some sorry-ass bullshit that they heard from some sorry-ass news anchor, some sorry-ass politician, some sorry-ass fraud on TV, and thinking they're so fucking smart. Simon Dan, prove to me you're not a fucking pussy, and let's debate in real time. And realize you have a clan of fucking losers behind you. No matter what you say, they're going to think you're right. Look how dumb your video is that you made about me. Your legions of sheep that follow you, they thought it was just so brilliant, you know? So don't be scared. Your fucking losers are going to support you no matter what, so your ego can stay intact. But let's have a debate, and we'll see where the intelligent people, we'll see where they arrive at. See, that's why you won't debate, because you know you'll lose, and you'll know the people whose opinions actually matter, they'll see that you're just another fraud. Anyway, Bill Gates, the booster. In case you're new here, there's 1 million of these rituals synced up with Bill Gates in the ongoing vaccine narrative, and a lot of them have been taken down for medical misinformation. But God, I mean, ask yourself, how is me showing this medical misinformation? You know, you should ask yourself that too, morons. Why do they have to keep taking down my channel and videos for medical misinformation when all I'm talking about is the way they sync this shit up by the numbers? They don't want the information out there. They're worried that you fucking retards might actually wake up. That's what they're worried about. And understand, my channel's been big in the past, My channel would be a lot bigger than Simon Dan's if it hadn't been deleted 20 sometimes. So don't think the small subscriber count means anything. That's what happens when you get deleted every month. But anyway, look how perfect it is. And here, I mean, you guys think it's a joke with the 201s? Here was the report the day the booster came out. Shares of Moderna Incorporated mRNA rose 2.01%. Yeah, but that's not the same as 201. That's 2.01. Okay, fucking retard. Okay, inept fucking moron. By the way, with regards to the Moderna bit, the CEO of Moderna, who's Jesuit educated, his birthday is July 20th, the 201st day of the year. He's from France, like the Jesuits. And the co-founder, Nubar Afian, his name is 201, just like the Jesuit order, like Ignatius of Loyola, like Jorge Mario Bergoglio. That's the first Jesuit pope. And that, don't you just hate it, man? It's like you show this to these fucking retards, and then they're like, so what, man? So what? So who cares? Numbers? Who cares? It's just like, I'm showing you who's fucking with you and pulling your chain, you fucking retard. You just think it's a coincidence that the Jesuit history is that they were saved in the suppression by 201 priests, and that the first Jesuit pope lives in Suite 201, and they literally simulate the pandemic and call it Event 201, and it's a gang of Jesuits there simulating this shit right before they shut down your life, take away, well, you know what I know also? Like, the people who lost their businesses, the people who are self-employed, they're not the people I'm talking to. They get it. That's not most people in America. The few people that matter in America, the independent business owners, they get what's going on. They're not who I'm ranting at. It's these fucking retards that probably, I mean, how many of my critics, like, their job is probably, their skill levels to work a cash register at Walmart, you know? You been to a Walmart lately? They hardly have any aisles open. They got all these robotic machines, and then they usually got like 3 fat slobs in yellow vests that are like sitting around laughing, not even paying attention as everybody's just walking out of the store with a cart, not even paying for their shit. These are my critics, you know? These yellow vest wearers at the Walmart who don't matter. You don't fucking matter, you know? Your life is worthless. The only skill you have is to work a cash register and be a fucking retard. You're not necessary. You're, there's just no need for you. Okay? Period. Understand it. Understand it, cattle. Anyway, these things are not arbitrary. It's not an accident the CEO of this, and he's probably just a front anyway. That's the thing. All these people, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these people are fronts. All of these companies are part of this Jesuit corporate government fascist empire. How do you think Amazon got the federal government to essentially work for free on Sunday with the post office workers who hate it? It couldn't be any more obvious that it's fascist. Not to mention the Roman fasces is on the wall of the House of Representatives. But here, again, how many more 201s do you need, fucking moron? Oh, well, who cares? Who cares? Again, the cattle apparently don't. You know, as long as there's some mulch in your trough over there for you to chew on, you don't give a fuck. As long as the master keeps putting the cattle feed in your little trough there, you're content. You know. I should have had Truth Virus's sheep sound queued up. But here we are, you know. Here we are, just another example of how contrived it all is. And again, for the moron out there who's like, well, you're running the alphabet forwards and backwards, so there's all these possibilities to make. It's just like, dude, are you guys fucking retarded, man? These things are all slim to none. Run it in reverse, vaccines 42. Bill Gates' first birthday on Jonas Salk's 42nd birthday, the day Elvis got the polio vaccine on live TV 42 weeks after his own birthday when vaccines 42. And then Elvis ends up dying at 42 prematurely, at least so they tell us. And then the vaccine just happens to go live for COVID on the 42nd day of Bill Gates' age. I mean, if you think all that's an accident, again, it just shows that you're an inept fucking retard. Bill Gates has no reason to be the face of vaccines. What the fuck's the guy know about vaccines? He's not a doctor. He's never, held any kind of degree or background in science and medicine. He's a computer guy. Computer viruses. What, does that translate to human viruses? It must, right? It must in the cattle's mind. Not to mention he operates out of Washington, the 42nd state. But again, you just follow the number patterns. You see that every single day, it's another number ritual. Every single day. And most of the time, it's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. Now, Alex Jones, the conspiracy theory puppet who's here to make the truth community look stupid with all of the bullshit he promotes, who's also now here to legitimize the Sandy Hook shooting. And here, again, just for any Simon Dan's fans who might still be here, if they haven't committed suicide already, which I can only pray they did, let's go back to this one. Remember, the Sandy Hook shooting happened in the year of the dragon, right? So, again, Patrick Dragon, supposedly one of the Sandy Hook first responders and heroes, he ended up dying from COVID-19. Oh, what a sad story. And they just had to get him posing next to a license plate with a 56 on it next to a sad puppy. And, again, just take a look. Adam Lanza's full name, 56, like Society of Jesus. What year was Sandy Hook established? In 56. What year did the shooting happen? 2012, 56 years later. And why does it matter? Why does it matter that he died from COVID? Because, again, coronavirus is 56. Like COVID vaccines, 56. Like a million rituals were done with COVID in 56, including Gavin Newsom, whose name equals 56, who's Jesuit educated, locking down California, saying 56% of California would get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. And if you think all this is a coincidence, again, it's because you're a fucking inept retard, okay? You're a well-made slave, meant to be used and abused, meant to have your master come around and slap some KY right in your asshole for any time he wants to come and fuck it. And I think a lot of you like it at this point. I mean, that's the other big trend in society, right? To teach you it's good to get fucked in your asshole. We got Pride Month coming up. I'm sure all Simon Dan's followers will be ready for it. Woo! You know? We got 54 new sizes of anal condoms approved by the FDA on the 54th day of the year. By Courtney Elias. And again, I mean, just all these examples that just pile up day after day. The FDA used 252 men to fuck each other in the ass to come up with 54 new sizes of condoms. And it just so happens that Sodom and Gomorrah equals 252. Numbers are infinite. Numbers are infinite. You sound crazy. It's like, what in the fuck are you talking about? Numbers are infinite? This sounds crazy? You sound fucking retarded. Sodom and Gomorrah equals 252. They reported to you that they got 252 men to fuck each other in the ass to come up with 54 sizes of condoms on the 54th day of the year. What sounds infinite about these patterns? These patterns sound pretty fucking exact. Okay, let's come back to the Alex Jones ritual. 120,000 he offered, and guess how many families he offered 120,000 to? 13. Where do I know about 13 families? Reminds me that the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt created the Illuminati with 13 families. Guess what Illuminati equals? Oh, it equals 120. Notice how in the headlines they emphasize desperate attempt, which equals 188, like Bavarian Illuminati. And where's this number fit in? This story's about money, right? What are the U.S. dollar bill denominations? The 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100. What happens when you add those numbers together? Oh, 188. Is that an infinite possibility? Did I choose for the dollar bill denominations to be this way? Did I choose for the alphabetic order to be in this order? Did I make up this code? No, this code was written about in a book that was here, what year did, here. The Secret Teachings of All Ages publishing date. Let me see, I was born in 83. Oh, this book came out in 1928. I can't tell you how many morons yesterday left the comment that you and your number code just making up bullshit. I didn't make up this code, moron. This code's thousands of years old, but Manly P. Hall wrote about it in a book that came out in 1928. I don't care, but I never heard of Manly P. Hall, so he doesn't matter to me. Well, he's a really fucking important person, especially in the nation's capital where, so much of this bullshit comes out of. Maybe you should look into something that you don't know about and not make some big claim and start talking out of your asshole like every American likes to do. Every American that I know, it's like they must think they have 10 mouths and a half a ear because nobody listens to shit and everybody's always talking bullshit. That's what I hate about this fucking society. And there's a good remedy for this. It's called a bullet in the head. Anyway, Desperate Attempt 188 and Bavarian Illuminati 188. Illuminati alone is 120. 13 families he offered 120,000 to. And don't forget, Alex Jones just turned 48. If you use numerology, Illuminati is 48. Wow. And then should we even talk about his 11/2 birthday? I'll tell you this. April 14th coming up. April 14th is going to be exactly 112 months after the Sandy Hook shooting. And if you don't know why that matters, it's because in the most simple ciphers, Sandy Hook's 112. They said Adam Lanza weighed 112 pounds in his autopsy after the shooting. His birthday is the 112th day of the year, April 22nd. His initials are A-L. A's the first letter, L's the 12th, 112. The Jesuits operate in 112 countries. Catholicism's 112. Mathematics is 112. It was compared to the Dune Blaine Massacre, which got gun rights taken away in the UK, which happened on a date with 112 numerology, March 13th, 96. That was the 73rd day of the leap year. Adam Lanza equals 73. Dune Blaine equals 73. Sacrifice equals 73. If anyone really died, it was a sacrifice, but what did get sacrificed for sure were your rights and liberties. Not to mention Sandy Hook's on the 73rd Meridian West. Oh, now he's talking about meridians and date. It's just like, yeah, I am, moron. And if you knew their record, you'd realize that these are all the things that they've done. They coordinate meridians with the date, with the numbers and the words. That's what these people do. Very provable, because they do it again and again. By the way, from the anniversary of the shooting to this offer by Alex Jones, 105 days later, Order of Illuminati, 105. Again, that's what Adam Weishaupt officially titled the order. And as we talked about, the ruling that, again, just to go back, November 15th, Sandy Hook families win legal victory against Alex Jones in defamation case. This was November 15th. And like I pointed out, I said, oh, what are the odds this happened on the day, leaving 46 days left in the year? It's a defamation suit. Defamation's got that 56, key number in the ritual, key number with the Jesuits. And the emphasis on hoax is important because hoax equals 48. But again, Sandy Hook is not far from Skull and Bones at Yale, powerful secret society related to the Illuminati directly. And again, here's the point in the note I was making. November 15th leaves 46 days left in the year. Again, Connecticut's 46, like elementary's 46. And, of course, Catholic's 46, and they're in New Haven, Connecticut, where Skull and Bones is, which is modeled after the Knights Templar who served the Catholic Church, is also the Knights of Columbus who served the Catholic Church. But look at this. So now we have the latest story, and guess what? From Alex Jones's February 11th birthday to the March 29th offers 46 days later. And it reminds that Hurricane Sandy, and here's where I'm really going to lose the Science Man Dan followers, because they're just not going to get their minds around this, even though weather warfare has been admitted to since 1952. But like we've been pointing out for years, like I wrote my first book about, I mentioned in there in the chapter on Sandy Hook. By the way, my book was banned everywhere that covers Sandy Hook, probably also part of the reason it was banned. And will the retards of our society care that the book was banned for censorship? No, because they now cheer on this censorship. Again, the same people that I'm saying need a bullet in the brain, which they do, are the same ones who now cheer on censorship. And for those you who've probably already signed off because you can't stand my ranting and the things I'm saying because you're also inept and probably deserve the same consequences. Again, the reason these people need to go is because if they don't go, we're all going to fucking go. They're all dragging us to hell. I can't emphasize it enough. But like I pointed out a million times, from Hurricane Sandy to the Sandy Hook school shooting, and look it up, the Sandy Hook school had to be closed in 2008 due to flooding, like how Hurricane Sandy brought flooding. And I think, now that I say that out loud, I missed a word. Flooding's also 46 in the same cipher. But anyway, from the Sandy Hook, or from Hurricane Sandy to Sandy Hook was 46 days later as well. Go figure, right? Go figure. And then, you want to get even cuter. Remember, we had the Sandy Hook shooting on December 14th. Then we had the nurse Sandy Lindsay get the first shot for COVID on December 14th. Another coincidence. And it reminds that Jonas Salk, he first tested the polio vaccine at Arsenal Elementary School in Pennsylvania in a big 201 ritual, in a clear Jesuit ritual. Covered that about a month or so back. But just to go in history with some other shots, Kobe Bryant put the ball through the hoop, passing Jordan in points scored on December 14th, 2014. And remember, this year on December 14th, Steph Curry set the record for three-point shots made on this day as they were telling everybody to go out and get their third booster shot. And again, the same Jesuits control your NBA, your nightly news. It's all ritual. But here's what I want you to see. When Jordan got passed by Kobe, Kobe scored 26 points. And, of course, Jordan and Bryant equal 26 like God in game. And, of course, Kobe went on to die on the 26th day of the year in a clear Jesuit ritual. But just think about it. He scored 26 points. How many people did they say died at Sandy Hook? Was it 26? It sure was. What was the date? 12/14. What's 12 plus 14? 26. Again. For the Simon, Dan, inept retards, you might not get it, but again, your news and your sports are rigged the same way, scripted by the same number code every single day, and that's why these things are executed in patterns perfectly year in and year out. Not to mention COVID equals 26. The COVID vaccine went live on 12 plus 14, 26. Remind me who died at the beginning of coronavirus. Oh, that's right, it was Kobe Bryant, and they buried him in Corona Del Mar. And Corona Del Mar just happens to equal the same thing as coronavirus forwards and backwards. Those ciphers don't go together, though. My opinion comes from my asshole. Okay. How about this? From Alex Jones's birthday to the Sandy Hook shooting was 307 days later. That's the 63rd prime number. In the most simple cipher, Sandy 63. What day did Hurricane Sandy impact, New York and New Jersey? October 29th, the day leaving 63 days left in the year. Isn't it amazing how all these things are so perfect? It was also 58 days before his upcoming birthday, and you might recall it happened on a date with 58 numerology. 12 plus 14 plus 20 plus 12. Secret Society 58, Fraternal 58. That was a big number in the bigger shooting earlier, or the big shooting prior to the Sandy Hook shooting that year, the Aurora Theater shooting, where James Egan Holmes is 58, and even more. Alex Jones is clearly in the club. 13 families, 120,000. It couldn't spell out Illuminati any more clearly. And again, for all the morons who go, Illuminati confirmed, be sure to pick up my new book when it comes out. It's called Illuminati Confirmed, the Jesuit Order. And that's what it is. And you can confirm it all day, every day. Even if you're a fucking retard. Even a Science Man Dan follower could figure it out. If he just opened his mind a little bit and shut the fuck up, Sorry if this broadcast doesn't go over well with your grandma who you wanted to share the video with. Try out another one. He's got people leaving comments like that too. How am I going to share this video with my grandma? Well, newsflash, as much as I care about your grandma, she's probably not the person I'm making this video for. I don't expect your grandma to get out and help me overthrow the federal government someday like we need to do. Remember, that's the reason the feds came to my house, because I said we all need to go to D.C. and burn the city to ashes. And what I learned is they can come out here and try to scare me and intimidate me, but I'm within my rights, at least still, for the time being, to say that we have the, protect ourselves from enemies, foreign and domestic. Almost no one's up for the task. I'll tell you what, I'm up for the task. But yeah, look out for April 14th coming up. Look out. It's going to be exactly 112 months after Sandy Hook. And we know how many 112 things they've done with Sandy Hook from the huge 112 ritual that was between now and then. Remember that the first guy they arrested was the guy with the mustache who was in the news that day. And then it was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. I forget if it was his son or his nephew was on the run for a murder in Connecticut. And then that story just happened to break 112 days after his birthday. And then you had the Gabby Petito story where the New York Post had to make the video about her being a minute 12 long, where she did the Sandy Hook tribute video, et cetera, and plus a bunch of other stuff I've forgotten.
But just think about how Alex Jones has become such a focal point of the Sandy Hook story with his 11/2 birthday. And we know what April 14th is. That's the day in history of a famous shooting. Lincoln, 14/4, Jesuit Order 144. Jesuits operate in 112 countries, so I'm sure April 14th will be ripe for some more bullshit. You guys might have to cover the story for me. I plan to be on the road that day. Well, I suppose I can do one of those videos in my car, but I'll be on my way out to Oklahoma City on April 14th. So, okay. Speaking of shootings, again, Sandy Hook was right next to Skull and Bones, which is the home of the old 322 gang. Again, look up Tim Russert asking John Kerry and George W. Bush about the odds of both being in Skull and Bones 322 and being the front runners for president in 2004, which they both have a little laugh about and say they can't say anything because it's a secret society. And isn't that just one of the things that's so fucking annoying? That our nation's capital is the home to two super powerful secret societies, and these brain-dead fucking losers can't get it through their head that maybe there's some stuff going on that they don't know about. Surely the secret would get out. Okay, moron, you've been living your whole life. How many secrets do you know about the secret societies that are in D.C., the Masons and the Jesuits? Most people in the United States of America don't know a fucking thing about Freemasonry or the Jesuits, even though it's public information that they're headquartered in D.C. Think about that, morons. My sister, who's about as inept as people come, she thinks Freemasonry is a conspiracy theory. That's how fucking dumb she is. She doesn't even think Freemasonry is a real thing. She thinks it's a conspiracy theory. That's the level of idiocy that is plaguing this world. And for all of you who think I'm dumb, realize my sister's not smart, okay? She struggled with school. School was tough for her. Her gift in life was she was attractive like my mother, so she married into a rich family. Didn't really have to do anything besides spread her legs and have babies. And again, she's a useful idiot. And for anyone who thinks that's rude what I just said, sorry, those are just facts. I'm someone who just, slept walk through school with straight A's, got scholarships, ran laps around everybody in my whole life. And then I grew up, and after I had to hold everyone's hand and drag them through school and teach them how to ride their bike and dribble a basketball and throw a ball, which I literally did for everyone in my community, by the time 9/11 happened and I was 18, then they all thought I was an asshole because I told them 9/11 was a lie. And then I realized, man, these fucking losers who I pretty much raised, they all think I'm an asshole now. Because look at this. At the end of the day, they're still under the fucking mind control of the big brother in our slave school system. These fucking retards couldn't even pass the assignment. I had to write their papers for them. Now they think they're smarter than me because they're watching the TV and going along with the Osama bin Laden story. And again, you guys, this is why I've been so frustrated. Because I've just seen that there's some kind of magical spell, some kind of mind control over these inept fucking losers who don't know their place. They don't know their fucking place. My own friend should have known, because they know that, and if they were out there watching right now, they know it's true. They're like, that is true, man. Zach taught me how to do everything. And I did go against him after 9/11. Anyway, look at what they're doing in Israel. Remember, State of Israel equals 201, like the Jesuit order, created on 14/5, Catholic 145. 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament than Protestant Old Testament. David Ben-Gurion, 145, declared it a nation. He dies 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. The inept moron will think it's a joke that Jerry Seinfeld equals 201, and the last episode of Seinfeld ran on the 50th birthday of Israel. And then at the beginning of this year, it's an actress from the show, Catherine Cates. She died 201 days after the anniversary of the first Seinfeld episode. And it was just days after Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm was on HBO, and the character holds up her phone to show that it's 201. They just had to get that in the episode. But the story in Israel is that there was 3 shootings that killed 11 people. Oh, 3 and 11, how those numbers always come together. But 3 shootings, the first on March 22nd, the second on Sunday, March 27th, and the latest on Tuesday, March 29th. Now, the thing about these shootings starting on March 22nd, they're blaming them on Arabs, and they're blaming them on Islamic terrorism. Now, what happened in history in the Middle East at the end of World War II, when all this shit was being set up, Oh, the Arab League was established on March 22nd, something I've talked about since 2013. What are the odds that the Middle East was all carved up into the divisive regions that it now is? Again, they set all these boundaries on purpose to fuck with people. You know, they took these different rival tribes of Islam and all this shit and put them all in the same thing. They did all this to fuck with humanity. But then what are also the odds that they set the foundation date for the Arab League on 3/22? And now this, and again, right before Ramadan, which this year falls on April Fool's Day. It's going to start on 4/1. Remember, Skull and Bones equals 41, like how number 41 was a member of Skull and Bones. 3/22, the number of Skull and Bones. Again, every year it's the same shit. Islamic terrorism during the time of Ramadan. They do the same shit every year, and the fucking morons like, oh, you sound like a conspiracy theorist. It's like, no, you're just a fucking retard who can't recognize the easy pattern. Every year during the most holy time for the Muslims, they fuck with the Muslims the most. That's how these people work. You know, they fuck with you on Christmas every year. They fuck with you on Easter every year. They fuck with you on religious holidays. On the big Jewish holy days, they fuck with people. They look for these days that are most important to certain groups of people, and then they fuck with humanity the most. It's the way to manipulate people and really piss them off. And you know who can't see it? I bet you know my answer. If you know, you're definitely flunking the class. The people who can't see it are fucking morons and fucking retards. Okay? If you wrote in either answer, you're correct. You passed the class. Here's the other thing. This happened on the 77-year anniversary of the Arab League. The 77-year anniversary. Man, we talk about this all the time, too. Judaism equals 77. Zionist 77. Theater 77. Secret Society 77. Israel, big Masonic nation. What's the most Jewish branch of Freemasonry? The Scottish Rite. Who shares the motto with the Jesuits at the 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite? Or, I answered the question there. Who shares the motto ad Merum Dei Gloriam with the Jesuits? The Scottish Rite does at the 32nd degree. You know. And again, the Jesuits are Catholic and Jewish. That's why Israel's a perfect Catholic, Jewish, Jesuit creation. By the numbers. Undeniably. And again, I mean, seriously. Retards. For the retards out there who might be watching because they think it's humorous and they don't realize that they're the joke. Again, tell me, what are the odds that Catholic equals 145 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse and 46 when you use numerology, and there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament and 145 more chapters? What are the odds of that? It's a Catholic, Jesuit, Jewish thing, and it's clear who encoded the language. This all comes from Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah. I mean, it's just like, it's so intuitive. It's so obvious. I mean, it's just, people are just such a fucking joke, man. Like, that right there should convince anybody that this is obviously real. That alone. What are the odds that Catholic equals 35 and 46 and JFK is the first Catholic president, number 35, killed at age 46? What are the odds that the second Catholic president is number 46, elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday when his son just happened to die at 46? And then he's inaugurated on the Pope's 35th day of his age. What are the odds of these things? They're fucking impossible odds. Doesn't matter to an inept fucking retard, though. All they need is their asshole to think for them. But yeah, I mean, it's just so obvious. And what happened last year on March 22nd? The most obvious bullshit shooting there ever was that I lost my whole channel over again. They didn't even give me 3 strikes on that channel. They just deleted the whole fucking channel for showing how much of a lie it was at the King Super shooting on March 22nd. And then when was the next Kroger shooting? Exactly 322 days later, in another big 201 ritual, which was February 7th of this year, the 38th day of the year. They said a 38-year-old killed a 38-year-old on the 38th day of the year when death equals 38, and Skull and Bones is known as the Brotherhood of Death. And not to mention, I got on video camera, since I actually drove to that shooting, since it was here in Washington State. I got the Commander Lee, who's being quoted in all the papers, on camera to admit that he hadn't even seen the shooting with his own eyes. He wasn't allowed to go in there. Only the feds were allowed in the inside of the building. The city police had to stay outside in the parking lot. The feds, who ended up arresting the shooter 11 hours later on a federal interstate, you know, that they were the only ones allowed in the building while the city police had to stay outside. It's just so obvious how it works. These are federal agendas to undermine states' rights. And you guys, You know what's a fucking joke? We don't have a Second Amendment. We hardly have the right to own guns. Can you put a gun in your car and cross a state boundary? Nope. Well, actually, somebody's going to say, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You just have to follow the rules. Okay, what are the rules? What are the rules to have a gun in your car and cross a state boundary? You have to have your gun locked up in a box, unloaded, and you have to have a separate lockbox to have the ammo locked in. So you have to have 2 lock boxes, unloaded gun locked up. What's the point of having a fucking gun? What? Oh, okay. I'm getting mugged. Hold on, mugger. I have to follow the rules. I have to unlock my 2 boxes, load my gun. I can't even have a loaded clip. You can't have a loaded clip. You have to have an unloaded clip, you pretty much boxed ammo, and your weapon and your ammo. I mean, like in what world is this not a violation of your right to bear arms? Everything's a fucking violation of the supposed rights we learned about in slave school. You don't have freedom of speech. I remember our teacher, Mr. Griffins, used to say, well, you don't have freedom of speech at school. And I'd be like, well, if we don't have freedom of speech at school, man, where do we have freedom of speech at? You get in trouble for saying things at school. But again, the principal upheld my suspension and getting kicked out of my English class for dressing up as Fidel Castro. You know, I didn't even realize he was a Jesuit back then. I just thought it'd be funny. I thought it would be the perfect rebellious stunt to dress up as a hero from history as Fidel Castro when everyone hates that guy in America. But yeah, Mr. Griffin used to always tell us, no, you don't have freedom of speech at school. That's not protected here. I think, man, this sounds like nothing. It sounds like everything's a load of shit that we learned. And it was. Back in the 90s before 9/11 happened. Okay, with all the King William stuff in the news, I had to go back and just look more at some of this stuff. Remember the Williams sister, she died in 2003, one of the sisters. And that was right after the Williams sisters really started to dominate the sport. In 2002 and 2003, both the Williams sisters finished at the top in first and second place of several of the Grand Slam events. And of course, the biggest event out of the Grand Slam events is Wimbledon. So in Wimbledon, Serena and Venus were first and second place respectively. And that began June 23rd and concluded July 6th. And then the sister died on September 14th. And notice, from the start of Wimbledon, the tournament that the sisters dominated to the sisters' death was 83 days later. You know, isn't it sad? 83. And again, that's the murder number. And that's why they put out the song Murder by Numbers by the British band, again, Wimbledon's in the UK, in London. But the British band, The Police, did the song Murder by Numbers, where killings as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. Murder 83. And again, Murder by Numbers, the movie poster, they code it right there, the 3 and the 8, as well as the 7 and the 9, you know. Again, what are the odds that the Murder by Numbers movie poster would have 7, 9, 3, 8, 8, 3 right there all around the title, and murder has all those values in it. Also the 34, like we talked about earlier, like Emmett Till dying 34 days after his birthday. But again, I mean, what are the odds of that? And what are the odds that just day after day these patterns just manifest all over? You know, they're just all over the place. Even though we've uncoded a million of them today, there's probably a million out there that we still haven't even noticed. And Venus and Serena were also first and second at the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of that event of that year. And that was the sisters' death was 8 months and 1 day after the Australian Open began. Of course, tennis and Venus are both 81 in the most simple cipher. And the new King Williams or King Richard movie, it's mostly focused on Venus Williams, the older sister. And you know what's funny is early in the film, I had to watch it last night just to see if there was any clues there. But early in the film, when the father's trying to get them a high-end coach, and again, you can just, I mean, when you watch, like, the movie's supposedly based on a true story, it's just such a load of shit. You mean to believe that this guy who can hardly formulate a sentence, he puts his daughters in the van and drives into Hollywood Hills and just drives to the house of the coach of Pete Sampras and John McEnroe and just walks onto their property and says, "You're going to coach my daughters." And then Pete Sampras is there and like, "I'd like to see that." And then so the coach is like, "Okay." I'm sure that would fucking happen. In real life, the police would probably be there and all three of them would probably be thrown in jail. Again, and it's funny, at the end of the movie, he goes, see, we knew even before they were born that this was going to be their future. And it's like, yeah, exactly, because these people are born and bred to be. But anyway, what's funny is when he gets in the story, when he gets the girls out on the court and the coach agrees to do it, then he's coming out and telling the coach that he's screwing up and he doesn't want him to coach his daughters that way. It's like, okay. You go to the professional coach's house and then he shows him something and then you start arguing with him right away. And the coach, what's funny is in the scene, the coach goes back to him. And Venus is the one that he chooses to coach in the story, but he can't coach both of them, so he only chooses Venus. And then the mom coaches Serena, and she ends up being even better. But anyway, what he says back to the dad, he says, listen, your time's only up. I only got 18 minutes. It's like, okay. He's only got 18 minutes. And understand, we've decoded Serena and Venus's careers, scripted careers like all the sports, and talked about these same numbers before. But in the movie, they just got to put it in there. I've only got 18 minutes. Why do you only have 18 minutes? Again, it's because it's all coded bullshit. And then the moron will be like, why would anyone take the time to do this? Again, fucking retard. Like I say every fucking time, like it's written on the opening pages of both my books. It's Kabbalah, you fucking moron. Kabbalah says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. These people believe in this shit. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it, sorry-ass motherfucker who thinks from their asshole. They do. That's why they do this every fucking day. They got all the time in the world, slave motherfucker. They don't work. They live on your labor, on your consumption, slave. They got all the fucking time in the world to write all the fucking scripts in the world. And what else drives me nuts is don't these fucking morons realize how many fucking TV shows and movies and cartoons are being written and made? There's like 1 billion of them. There's a huge industry in writing scripts. You don't think there's another one to write the news, moron? Because you don't fucking think. It's because you're fucking retarded. Now, here's the other thing I did notice from watching the movie. Venus Williams happened to go pro on Halloween. That's the day leaving 61 days left in the year, the 18th prime number in 94. 94. Isn't it interesting? And then the movie about the father, King Richard, Will Smith wins Best Actor in the 94th Oscars, right after Sidney Poitier dies at 94, right after the Foo Fighters, established in 94, lose their drummer, right after they get into the movie business, and that band was created after Nirvana ended in 94 because of the death of Kurt Cobain, supposedly in a greenhouse, where Sidney Poitier is known for, in the heat of the night, slapping the shit out of somebody. And his birthday just happens to be Kurt Cobain's birthday, which just happens to be the same day Juwan Howard, drafted in 94, got suspended for slapping the Wisconsin coach when Wisconsin equals Will Smith in all 4 ciphers. And there's now a story out about how Will Smith and Juwan Howard look almost the exact same. And Juwan Howard was the 5th pick of the 94 draft, and he slapped the Wisconsin coach exactly 5 weeks to the day of Will Smith becoming the 5th actor to win Best Actor, who happened to be black. Not to mention, Juwan Howard was on the Fab Five. Again, this is how the Illuminati does it. They got all the rituals planned and synced up. And again, Roman Catholic Church is 94. Look at what TMZ uploaded to their website. TMZ uploaded this clip of Will Smith teaching a child in his slave muzzle how to take a fake slap, and the little kid's name is Chris, like Chris Rock. I mean, look at TMZ's write-up. Will Smith is an adept face slapper, even teaching youngsters the ropes on how to wind up and deliver. TMZ has obtained footage shot back in November showing Will and his King Richard co-star Little Ellis on a junket. There was a Q&A and a little guy named Chris, yes, that wasn't lost on us, asked how to fake fight in flicks. These people just know they can treat humanity like they're stupid. Because, again, they're used to just calling everything a coincidence. Everything's just a coincidence. Oh, did you know how on 9/11 the military was confused because they happened to be running a bunch of drills that were really similar to what was happening on September 11th? Yeah, but I mean, obviously our government wouldn't do that. That's got to be a coincidence. I mean, they wouldn't do that to us. Okay, slave. Realize that's how these people always speak, right? Like they're just good slaves, good obedient slaves, just trust so much in the master. Did you see Amazon has a new movie called Master? Supposedly about the oppression of young black women at a prestigious white college. It's just like, what the fuck is with all these bullshit-ass movies they're putting out? It's just, I mean, just all. And by the way, this whole King Richard movie is a big race baiting movie. By the way, that's all it is. Big race baiting movie. It makes black people look bad in Compton. You know, gang banging, shooting each other. You know, saying they're gonna come over and run a train on your daughter. I mean, so it's a movie that makes black people look really bad. And then Will Smith's character literally makes black people look bad. He makes it look like a dumb black man from Shreveport, Louisiana. You know, just an incompetent idiot. I mean, he's got a heart and determination for his daughters, but ultimately he's their biggest Achilles heel. You know, he's afraid, he's a coward, he's just makes all the wrong moves, holds back his daughter, makes his daughter cry because he won't let her take the court even though she's the hottest prospect in the nation. You know, I mean, the whole movie just makes black people look bad, and then focuses on the racial division. You know. And then he's telling all these stories about how when he was a little black boy in Louisiana, he was getting beatings from white men. And again, I mean, there's very few black people who are living right now who can tell stories like this. You know, there's probably more white people that can talk about getting a beating from a group of black guys. Again, just all this shit just to racially divide people. All of these movies being manufactured, all this bullshit, you know? It's sick, man. It's sick, and the sheep just don't get it. So obvious. So obvious. And the Jesuit fingerprints on every last inch of it. Will Smith, you know, the Prince of Bel-Air. And by the way, just since they took down my video yesterday, I don't know where the fuck that video went. Piltdown Man. Again, for all of you guys who just believe so much in science, realize most stuff that's promoted as science is nothing but scientism. It's the new religion. It's all based in bullshit. Look up Piltdown Man, the scientific lie that persisted for 41 years before it was admitted to being a fraud, where they went through a lot of effort to dupe people to prove evolution. This is one of the first proofs of evolution, and it was a total fraud. So that should tell you probably much all you need to know about evolution. And reportedly, Piltdown was the work of Charles Dawson, not to be confused with Charles Darwin. But Piltdown lasted for 41 years. Piltdown equals 41. When you run it in reverse, science and fiction are 41. And again, when you run it with the alphabetical order, Piltdown's 113, the number from the Talmud, the number of deception. You know, Talmud Bava Kamma 113a says it's okay for Jews to lie to people who aren't as long as it's within a legal setting, which again is everywhere. Mainstream, dishonest, perverted, not true, not honest, not factual, disinfo, politics, perjury, fiction, bullshit, infidelity, divorce, sinister, erroneous. All these words having to do with dishonesty are 113, like Piltdown. And, Green Screen, who runs Hollywood, 113. George Lucas, 113. Watches movie THX, 1138. You'll see the society we live in and how long it's been planned for. And, again, O.J. Simpson, Ron Goldman, Princess Diana, all this stuff's bullshit. It's all 113 rituals. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant play in the National Basketball Association, the 113 League, participated in a bunch of 113 rituals themselves. And, again, who runs the NBA? David Stern, Adam Silver, tell me who they belong to. But NASA, full of shit, established on a date with 113 numerology. The Titanic, a load of shit, 113 Titanic's a bullshit story. It wasn't even the Titanic that was out to sail. It was the sister ship with Titanic repainted on it. Huge insurance fraud scheme, synced up with the establishment of the Federal Reserve. 3 biggest opponents of the Federal Reserve all died on that boat that day. But 113, number of deception. And what do you know? It's in Piltdown. It's in NASA. It's in coronavirus pandemic. And how many times have you heard in the last year that people who aren't in compliance with Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates are science deniers? You know, it's very offensive. I don't deny science. I know science is a real thing. I know science can be helpful, but I know the difference between science and scientism. And coronavirus, again, you got to be brain dead to not see it. Coronavirus pandemic, 113, declared on 11/3, the same day they locked down the National Basketball Association. 113, blamed on a Utah Jazz player, the one team in the league where their full name equals 113. And again, for all you morons who think because you have 4 ciphers you can get any value you want to equal any number, You're wrong. There's only 2 teams in the whole league that have a connection to 113. One is Utah Jazz. The full name's 113. The other is Dallas. Dallas alone is 113. And go back and see how many points they scored on March 11, 2020. 113. Guess how many points the Dallas Mavericks scored on March 11, 2022? 113. And what happened that day with the Utah Jazz? Well, Greg Popovich became the winningest coach of all time in National Basketball Association history, the 113 League, on 11/3. You know? Again, the Jesuits run the NBA. They run scientism. They run your news. They run your Oval Office. They run your news headlines every day. And they run it all this way. And again, if you can't see that, it's because you're a fucking retard. Period. You don't have an argument. You're just a fucking retard who talks from your ass. Look at all the troll fucking comments left yesterday and not a single point made that made any fucking sense. Don't you know numbers are infinite? You sound crazy. It's like, what the fuck kind of argument is that? Do you know how fucking dumb you sound? Don't you know numbers are infinite? You sound crazy. You think that's an argument, you fucking retard? Doesn't even make any fucking sense. Again, moron, here on the day you wrote that, stupid-ass motherfucker, slave who's happy to pay their taxes to this bullshit fucking government that wastes our fucking time and our money every day. Here's what they did on that day, you fucking retard. 129 days after Joe Biden's birthday, he's signing the Emmett Till bill. Is that infinite retard? No, it's not. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. Again, and I didn't make up this knowledge. I read about it in a book, something none of you fucking retards have ever done in your life. Read anything. Notice I got books all behind me. I read, I study, I research. I connect dots. I'm not some fucking lemming loser that just sits there with my thumb up my ass, believing the bullshit every day on the TV. Okay, inept jerk off. Your number code. It's not my number code, retards. Never been my code, retards. I didn't code out the language, you fucking morons. I did figure it out. I might be the first person in history to figure it out. You know, that wasn't part of the cabal. But yeah, again, you guys, if you can't understand my frustration, well, you're probably not that awake. Again, you don't know what it's like to speak out for over 20 years and just see things get shittier and shittier. And as much as I'm pretty sure Mark Passio's a shill, one of the things he's definitely right about is that people will not face the fact that it's the occult who rule over us. That's why they do this every day. Occult means secret, hidden. It's why you got secret societies in the nation's capital. It's why all the secrets are truly hidden in plain sight, and they just make a mockery of us every day. And here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to close out with. Again, I've talked about this before. If you've read my first book, Letters and Numbers, it ends with this. The story of Father C.R., the founder of the Rosicrucians. He studied occult knowledge in the Holy Lands, and he was so excited by what he learned, he came back to Europe where he was from, and he wanted to share it with his people, and he got ridiculed and made fun of and demonized and hated. And so what did he do? He started a secret society. And again, you guys, that's why, I mean, you know, obviously I'm not happy with the Illuminati. I mean, they've made all of our lives a lot shittier than it should have been. But at the same time, you know, if you just pay attention, maybe you can kind of grasp why the Illuminati is the Illuminati and maybe why they despise humanity so much and why they treat everybody like they're worthless pieces of shit, you know. They are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. They're like, well, we know on average 95% of them are sorry fucking pieces of shit, so I guess the other 5% will just be casualties of war. What's the word? Collateral damage. That's who we are, the awake ones. We're the collateral damage. That's why my mentality at this point is kill them all. Kill the Illuminati, kill the sorry-ass motherfuckers. Let's start over. See if we can build it back right. So, let me see. They didn't cut me off a long time ago for all the ranting, did they? All right, Kushmanu. Thanks for the donation. $1.13. Perfect. But yeah, anyway, we'll leave it there for now. I'm done ranting. I'm done presenting. And Yeah, it's just it's too bad that the world is a bunch of sorry ass motherfuckers. It is. So again, for all of you guys out there, I mean, get your shit together, come up with a plan, and again, I really think the best you can probably do in this world, as sad as it is to say, if we're not going to assemble and overthrow the tyrants, and hardly anyone has a pair of balls, so we'll see how many people show up in Oklahoma City. We'll see if we're on the path. Again, we're not overthrowing the cabal on April 19th, but if we could ever build enough numbers and find enough men who actually have a pair, then we could. Again, I don't make these videos for grandmas because I don't expect grandmas to come out and help me do what needs to be done. But I would love to be there the day that we burn the whole fucking federal government to the ground. It would be a glorious fucking day for humanity, and it would probably set off a chain of events worldwide that need to happen. And for all of you guys who are worried about the chaos that would ensue afterwards, if that even would happen, that's that cowardly thought. Oh, well, what if my slave master dies and things get even worse? Well, I guess that's just the way it had to be for the time being, Again, you want to live under slave master because it's more comfortable for you than what it might be without slave master? That makes you a coward. These people got to go. That's the bottom line. And again, you have and again, for all the people who say, well, they got all sorts of weapons and sound weapons and all this shit. Well, again, that's why we need enough people. We need enough people. There might be a lot of casualties that day, but fuck, if there's enough of us, I'm pretty sure the job will get done. And again, it would be awesome. You don't just assemble in one location. Let's have people assemble in big numbers everywhere it needs to happen. Every major news network, like I keep saying, take over the news networks, burn the federal government to the ground. All of this shit needs to be done. It all needs to be done. Otherwise, we're all going to continue to get fucked. And if you're okay with continuing to get fucked, well, then just, keep on saying it can't happen and it's never going to happen and I'd never do it. I'm too much of a coward. Just lube up your ass and take some more then, I guess. They still got KY on the shelves, so anyway. Kushmanu doesn't have a wrench. Let me see. Post something, Kushmanu. I'll give you your wrench. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara's got a donation. I'm looking for a Kushmanu post to give him his. There he is. Okay. All right, you're re-wrenched. Did somebody else donate something? It was $1.13. Barbara donated $5. Where'd the other money come from? See any other donation? Hold on, I'm looking up who else I owe a thank you to. Oh, Kushmanu gave a second donation. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'll look for your post, D26. Appreciate it, man. Keep up the great work. Shout out to everybody. Thanks, mods. Thanks, Chigozi. Thanks, Yeah Right, The Matrix. Thanks, Charm One. And yeah, I mean, again, the Simon Dan retards coming in here just reminded me what humanity is. So it's just pathetic, man. It's just pathetic, and I hate how inept people are too, man. I hate how weak society is. Oh, you shouldn't talk about killing people. The only way is nonviolence. Yeah, who told you nonviolence, moron? Your fucking slave masters told you nonviolence. Show me the accomplishments of nonviolence in the world. It's a big fat zero. It's a big fat nothing. Take a look at who rules the world. Some killers. And I'm not saying you should be a killer, but there is a time and a place for killing. When people are fucking up the world you live in, fucking up the world for you, for unborn generations, for the children, for everyone who's breathing right now, turn society into a bunch of fat, inept fucking losers, those people need to go. Aboriginal Underground says, check out my comments on Twitter. Let me see if I can figure it out here. Aboriginal Underground. Aboriginal Cook One's what came up. I don't know if this is the right person. Maybe it's a message. Cuts, universal awareness. Those aren't anytime recent. I'm not real good on Twitter. Notifications, mentions. Again, you guys, I don't know. Where's your comment at? I don't know where to look for it. I don't know where it is. So, sorry. I'll look for your next comment. Tell me where it's at. Hold on. We got to figure out what Aboriginal is trying to communicate before we signed off. Yesterday was a span of 129 days to Obama's birthday, too. Good one, Kayla. Of course it was. Of course it was. Make sure you guys are following all these people in the community who are doing the work. Kayla's a lot nicer to listen to than me. Kayla does great work. So, yeah, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with killing other people. I really don't. Especially all you guys who eat meat and kill other animals. What's the difference? Tell me, what is the actual difference between killing a person and killing an animal to eat it? I really don't think there's a difference. You can argue all you want. You think there's some difference? I don't. I like animals. I don't like most people, you know. I'd probably be more inclined to become a cannibal, so. I'm trying to find this person's comment here. Let's see. You don't have to tip me. I appreciate the offer, Knowledge 2020, but again, in the description of every video is my P.O. box. If you guys didn't know that, in the description of every video is my P.O. box, or another place to find my P.O. box number is right on GematriaEffect.news. The top pinned post is where you can get my book. I've had that up there for over a year, but down below it says to donate to the cause. My PayPal's there, my Cash App's there, my Venmo's there, my P.O. box is there, so. Hold on, I'm trying to find our friend's comment. Oh, I got to show you something else that's funny too. So, somebody pointed out something about high impact flicks. Again, here's a shill in the community. Notice he made his video about the Will Smith breakdown exactly 9:40 long. I mean, it's possible it's a coincidence. But the other thing that kills me is he says, "Look what I found," and then he act like it was his first fucking find. He noticed that in the Falling Down movie that he tears up the Asian market under Corona Street. And again, keep in mind, I sent a copy of my book to Brian a year and a half ago. So he has this book. And he recently said that he was even thinking about sharing it, but then I pissed him off, so he's not going to. It's like, dude, you've had the book for a year and a half and you haven't shared it the whole fucking time. This guy's the sorriest fucking fraud in the community. But he says, "Look what I found." I bet you he's actually reading my book. He's copied my work so many times. All of his best work he ever did was copying me. But right at the bottom of page 200 of my book, I talk about the Corona Street sign in Falling Down. And then this guy's like, "Look at me, look what I found." This guy's just such a fucking loser. And I bet you anything just to troll, he edited his Will Smith video to 940 for the 94th Oscars. But here's the bottom of page 200 of my latest book, Number Games, which will soon be my second latest book because the other book's close. Moving on, let us rewind to the 1990s, the time of VHS tapes and video rental stores, for a couple more illustrations of how well planned this moment we're living out is. On February 26, 1993, the date of the World Trade Center bombings, the movie Falling Down released. The next time you watch the film, having a very curious name in light of what eventually happened to the World Trade Centers on September 11, 2001, pay attention to the surroundings when Michael Douglas' character destroys the convenience store in a fit of rage. You'll see in the same scene a street sign is shown, and it is none other than Corona Street. I'd call it a coincidence if I didn't know better, but I do. And for the record, Falling Down equates to 54 with both Pythagorean methods, the very important number to the Jesuit order, where their logo is the sun, which emphasizes its corona. And the film came out in 93, reminding us that the sun is 93 million miles away from Earth on average. At least so we're told. So there's a whole lot more in here. I'm sure next he'll read from the next page, and then he'll share what I got from Demolition Man. But yeah, this guy's just such a fucking loser. This guy makes me sick too. Low impact flicks. The whole fucking world mostly makes me sick. And that's one of the most frustrating things to me is I thought some of these channels were legitimate when I started. And, but then, they could never share the work. And again, I mean, it's just like this guy's never had his channel deleted. So, Actually, he did recently. I take it back. He recently had one of his channels deleted, but it was about 5 years after all the real truthers started getting deleted. So, and I imagine they had to do that to him to make it look like less of a shill. Because people will be like, well, all the other people got deleted. How didn't you get deleted? Now he can go, oh, I got one of my channels deleted too. But, yeah, what a jerk off. He won't share the work. He won't share the book. He has a copy of it, and he acts like I'm the villain. This guy's a sorry-ass motherfucker. His only purpose here is to keep up with what's trending on Twitter and sell you another t-shirt. It's his only purpose here. Steals everybody else's content, gives no credit, just a sorry-ass piece of shit. But, thank you, Cuts1. I appreciate the generosity. Let me see if I can find our guy's comment. Let me find... I couldn't find the Twitter comment. So I'm going to see if he posted somewhere. The man who gave the super chat about Twitter where I didn't know where to look. Sorry, I'm trying to find the person's comment who said, look at what I got on Twitter. A lot more effective way to communicate with me is to post something on Free to Find Truth. And again, I use Twitter as well as Free to Find Truth, as well as Facebook, as well as Google. I use all these platforms because, you're trying to reach the masses. But again, if you're trying to get something to me, Free to Find Truth's super easy for me to find. So, okay, I see the message from Dom. Okay, if you want to send me the message later, I'm glad to share it. I just don't know where to find it right now, and I don't see you posting anything else in the comments. So, well, D26 figured it out. Here, let's see. All right, here it is. Django Unchained actress boyfriend pleads not guilty to lewd conduct. CBS Los Angeles, Daniel Watts. Okay. I see the encoding of the name. I guess I got to read the details of the story to understand the post. But yeah, I see the typical Jesuit numbers. What else is new? Thank you. Glad somebody else is doing the work. I just to offer some constructive criticism. I don't know how effective a post like this is going to be because it's a bunch of different numbers and no clear indication of. It just, you know how the sheep are. I mean, I just keep it, like when I post on Twitter, I normally just stick to one number that I talk about. Maybe sometimes I'll put in a second number, but I always make it real clear why I put those numbers in there. So, but yeah, let me see. Am I following you? Here, I'll follow you too. Happy to follow, so. Thank you for doing the work and the donation. I appreciate it. And, yeah, again, thank you to all the generous people. Yeah. I see somebody's comment about everything NASA does is underwater. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of it is, but it's like when they do their thing where they move real swiftly down the hall. Like, how could you do that in water? That would be impossible in water. Just, when they do that one stroke and they just go flying down like the supposed ISS hallway. But again, the thing is, I mean, Hollywood isn't in space, right? And they're doing these same things in their movies, so there's a way to pull it off. And again, I still remember, if you guys want to go back and look at the history, the first ever 4K video put out, the first ever 4K video was the production of Hollywood and NASA. And that should have made everybody go, wait a minute, Hollywood and NASA? And then you got, retards like Simon Dan going, oh my God, like it could have been filmed in a movie studio, the space landing. It's just like, yeah, it could have been. It could have been. And what are the odds that conspiracy and tinfoil hat equal 51 in the most pure cipher, and Area 51's known for conspiracy? Why is this just, oh my God, this is so dumb? It's like, why is it so dumb? And then just to read like the trolls' comments, oh, Dan destroyed your work. It's just like, where did he destroy my work? He didn't even make a single argument. He slapped his head. It was like watching the Three Stooges in one man. I do know they do some of their stuff in water, but I don't know if every last thing they do is in water, is what I'm saying. I mean, they might have a variety of different ways to pull off the tricks. So, yeah, and again, I mean, at the end of the day, just like, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious that a lot of the stuff they give us with space is bullshit. By the way, if you're out there, Simon Dan, how come you didn't cover the launch of the latest telescope? Like, if you're going to take apart my NASA work, why not do something more recent? I should have brought this up yesterday. The James Webb Telescope reportedly unfolds its 18 golden hexagons on January 8th. 18 golden hexagons on 1/8. Again, Sun is 18, IHS is 18. And remember when we talked about this? The whole James Webb. Oh yeah, they had to launch it at 7:20 a.m. on Christmas Day. The sun of the birthday, or the birthday's sun, the same sun that moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. They did this on the 359th day of the year, the 72nd prime at 7:20 a.m. Jesuit Order 72, Space Telescope 72, abbreviated JWST 72. Merry Christmas for the record 72. But yeah, tell me where I'm wrong. The clear, again, it's the Catholics, the sun worshippers, their NASA Jesuit program. It's just weird that he chose to take on the video from February 18th, 2021, which he didn't even, I mean, it was an idiotic rebuttal to my video, but I've covered a bunch of NASA stuff since then. Why didn't he cover any of the more recent stuff? Why that video? So, James Edwin Webb, of course, Gematria like Sun and Jesuit Order. National Aeronautics and Space Administration 171, the 18th triangular number. Christmas 61, the 18th prime. It's just, taxpayer dollars at work right here. James Webb Space Telescope 397, the 78th prime. They launch it on a date with 78 numerology. Again, that's another Jesuit number. So you can complain all you want and be like, well, you're saying Jesuit's 78, Jesuit Order 72? Yeah, it is. And look at how they bring the whole ritual together on the same day, moron. Scottish Rite's also 78. Shares the motto with the Jesuits. Two entities that dominate your federal government. But, yeah, if we ever have the debate, I got decodes upon decodes of NASA by the numbers. Supposed space discoveries by the numbers. So. Keep in mind, from NASA's anniversary of establishment to that launch was 149 days later, the 35th prime, and of course NASA's 35, like Catholic, like Holy See, who the Jesuits serve. And again, the sun, they did it on 1225. 1225, square root of 35, right? Perfect. Perfect ritual. hold on. Russia has a new strategic weapon called Poseidon as they fight the old Soviet bloc Ukraine with the trident on their coat of arms. Russia's new weapon, Poseidon. Poseidon, when did they post this? March 3rd. Okay. An intercontinental nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed autonomous... Well, again, this is what fits in with the whole 9/11 thing and you know, the Manhattan Project and the World Trade Centers in Manhattan and then calling it Ground Zero and the tridents on the building. An intercontinental nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed autonomous torpedo. That's quite the name. See if there's anything to that. Oh, go figure. It's 274 like Jesus Omnum Salvator. That's what's annoying, too. It's like, you tell somebody a fact. You say, Jesus Omnum Salvator in the most simple cipher is 274, and it's inside the Jesuit logo who serves the Catholic Church, who began celebrating the birthday of the sun in the year 274 AD. And they go, do you know how dumb that sounds? And it's like, how does that sound dumb? Doesn't that sound interesting? I mean, to me, that's interesting. The surface gravity of the sun is 274 meters per second squared. I mean, that's what they say in your science book. Can you verify it? Isn't that funny in light of Jesus Omnum Salvator? And I mean, it should be so obvious to you right now how legitimate science can be with the Jesuit takeover of the world, with him, you know, telling you that if you don't put a slave muzzle over your face, you're not complying with the latest science, which shifts with the wind. Probably just violated the World Health Organization's policies with that statement. Oh, that counts as medical misinformation there. It's some medical misinformation. But go figure, it's got the big fat 274 in it. Again, we know this whole thing's a big Jesuit ritual. Okie dokie. Good one. D26, you're amazing at collecting relevant information. And again, thank you to all the people who contribute to the work, you know, put out the work. And we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. Back to work. Till next time.